Bryan here with the Bigger, Better Biz community, where I equip you with the tools and know-how to grow that bigger, better small business. I'm actually really excited. Talk about blast from the past. I'm here with my good friend, Thiago Santos. Thiago, how are you?
I'm well, Brian. How's it going?
Doing really well. Obviously you guys don't know how we're connected. We went to school together, elementary and middle school we went to together. I
Very
moved away, moved across the country, came back, and Thiago and I reconnected. And it's actually really fun. I'm glad that you're on here.
Thank
So,
you, Mark Zuckerberg.
right? Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg. Exactly. Sometimes when the site's actually up. So, question for you, Thiago. You've always been a fit guy. I was the chubby kid in school. You were that fit like guy that was running around the kid running around the playground that I was like, I wish I was skinny. Now you're a personal trainer. What was your journey? How did you become a personal trainer?
Man, it was zigzagging, but eventually, I think it was just destiny. I ended up falling in. Everything fell into place. So got into high school. I was always working out. All my friends would tell me, "Hey, you should get into personal training." I had no clue. How the heck do you become a personal trainer? And was it a test you got to take? But anyhow, went to community college for X-ray technician. I started
Mhm.
taking some science classes. So I took anatomy, physiology. I really got fascinated by how the human body works. And then I've just naturally, kind of gravitated towards kinesiology, which is study of body movement. I was
Mhm.
going for health and fitness. My senior year, I was only taking like two classes. I was almost about ready to graduate. One of my professors said, hey, Health Tracks is looking for some help. And this was a cardiac rehab class. At the time, Health Tracks, they had a cardiac rehab program. So one would think this had something to do with cardiac rehab. I'm like, hey, this might be a good opportunity. So I show up, and it was an interview for a personal training job.
Oh.
So I walk out of it, I get the job, and essentially I start personal training.
And how long ago was that?
I don't know, probably back in 2012,
Wow.
2011.
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years now, yeah. Making a living,
That's
doing what I love.
that's
So,
that. And then you haven't worked a day. That's awesome. That's so cool.
yeah.
Uh, so here's a question for you, talking about kind of because I'm in that kind of nostalgic, reminiscing mind frame. What would you tell yourself 10 years ago? What would you tell yourself? Like, what are two or three things that you wish you had known right when you started?
Great question. Well, network with people. Don't be afraid to reach out to who's doing what you want to do and shadow them. Internship more,
Yep.
definitely huge. And just take chances. Make mistakes. Don't be afraid.
I love that. I love that. I'm guessing you failed forward a few times, huh?
Yeah, I mean, this is all trial and error. Like being a business owner, I'm kind of just learning on the go. That's why I reach out to you, often. I know this is your area of specialty. Reading
Hey,
books, listening to podcasts, devouring YouTube, talking to other friends who are in the business. So it's been a
love it.
journey.
I'd say, you're totally right because we just celebrated. Well, for me, I celebrated 10 years of the marketing agency back in December. It's basically like my birthday was when I decided. So, one thing that I was thinking about too is when I first started, and for those of you watching, when you're starting your business, you feel like you have to be so confident and almost independent. You have to be autonomous. It's all on you. This is you, but it's really not. Just like how they say it takes a village, and you have a baby girl that's coming. You have a 2.5 that you were just 2.5 year old you were telling me about. It takes a village to raise that family. It takes a village to raise your business. And I think a lot of people kind of devalue the idea of building a network and talking to people who are experts in different areas to get that holistic view of how they should run their business. So I'm really glad you said that because that's part of what we're trying to do. We're just trying to be with the Bigger, Better Biz community, kind of a guide or just a character in your story to help you get to that next level.
Right on.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about TSantosFit. Now, obviously, T Santos, Thiago Santos Fit, it tells us what it is. How did you arrive on that brand name?
Um, I don't know. I started a Facebook business page, and at first it was like Thiago Santos Health and Fitness, and that was just like too long, and so I didn't like that. So I wanted to shorten it up. So I figured, let me just use my name. I think I saw somebody else, other people were using their name, and I'm like, all right, let me just, they're successful. Let me emulate them. And I
Yep.
come to find out, years later, this guy is the guy. I wish I didn't use my name and the brand, but it is what it is for now.
It's funny enough. So opposite. When I was starting my business, the agency, I called it BJC branding. You remember BJC because that's what you used to call me, and BJC Bryan James Caplan. But I had asked around. I was like, "Hey, what should I do?" I was living outside of Boston. I thought maybe Boston Marketing Agency or Beantown Branding or something. And it was a family member that said, "No, no, no, don't geo lock yourself somewhere. You should be you." And I chose BJC, which if any of you are learning, or kind of starting the research process to name your business, stay away from acronyms because everybody messed it up. It was CBJ, JBC. No one could get it right. So funny enough, we landed on Bryan Caplan Marketing because it's kind of that personal brand, right? You see me almost ad nauseum, but you see me on videos, watch the events, I write the articles, all that stuff. So we wanted people to know that it was all kind of under that umbrella. So I actually like what you did with TSantosFit. I'm almost thinking, it's like, I would say just, T Santos or even bringing back Thiago, but as a signature, like it's your signature fitness brand, T Santos, and people can get behind that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So I would say you're good with what you have. It's all one word, which is one thing. And let me share the screen with you so that everybody can see what I'm talking about. We're going to dive into a few things here, but when we're looking at your brand name, I mean, it's just one word, T Santos Fit. You own TSantosFit.com. Really important. Has anyone ever said to you it's hard to find your site, or I messed up your email or anything like that?
Not to my knowledge.
There you go. So, well, of course, if they can't get in touch with you, they wouldn't. But most people would, if you're working with so many people, and I can see obviously you have a lot of clients under your belt, at least 240, if not more. I'm sure you would have heard some grumblings about, hey, it's kind of hard to remember your business name. So I think you're good there. I think maybe part of it is, and we'll jump to your website. One thing that I saw when I was quickly looking at your website is getting more of you in the brand. So instead of it just being T Santos Fit, I want to see Thiago, right? You're like this buff Adonis from Brazil that can power lift and all these different things. I want to see you. I want to see like who's going to be teaching me. It's just like my mom used to go to I think it was Weight Watchers, WW, whatever you want to call it now. And it was being led by someone who was overweight. And my mom said, it's really hard for me to get inspired because the person teaching me isn't following the thing. So people want to see that you're embodying what you teach, right? Isn't that part of the whole idea of transformation?
I mean, to a certain extent, right? Like yes, I'm the instructor, but like I want it to be about the people that I serve. So I want them to see
Of course.
people who look like them, working out. Because I don't think anyone cares that I'm this guy with a six pack working out. They want to see, can I identify with this, middle-aged woman who looks like me? Because that's my market.
And so, okay, that's a really good point. We'll talk about that in a sec. But what you're talking about is the social proof aspect of things. And I'm talking about the personal brand aspect of things. And you can marry both. So I'm not saying you have to be there like, hey, look at this, like you're Hulk Hogan with 24-inch pythons. But I'd like to see, and when we go to your site, you'll see, I'd like to see more photos of you right away, or more photos of you with those people. So we'll talk about that because I think there's a little bit more to be gained from someone who's kind of exploring and figuring out how would my experience be with Thiago and T Santos Fit. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. But also, the long-term goal, I want to bring in some, staff,
of course,
right? Employees. So again, it can't just be, all about me.
No, but for right now, where you are, build the brand under you, and then as you bring staff in, they've learned your systems, your frameworks. They've met your requirements and everything. And now then you can change T Santos Fit to something totally different. But I would say your personal brand and having more of you, which we'll see in a sec, would help. Now you brought up something and I want to ask you, so buyer persona, you just said your market are, middle-aged women who are probably looking for a transformation. Can you tell me a little bit about that, how you've gone through the process of figuring out your buyer persona?
Yeah, just most of the clientele that I started with, they actually came through the physical therapy channel. They were once injured, and then they wanted to get stronger once they were cleared. They didn't want to get injured again, so they knew strength training was important to prevent injury. And we just started seeing the benefits, getting stronger, losing weight, getting strong, looking better. And then, the referrals from their friends started coming in, and then it kind of just happened organically.
Which is a testament to what you do. That's awesome. So it's basically for you, since you're working with a lot of business owners don't have that ability or that opportunity to work closely with their customers or clients. It might be transactional like a store, or you might be, something where it's even e-commerce, but for you, where you're really in there with them, you're getting to know them, what drives them, what pain points they have. So it sounds like over time, you've kind of created in your head this dream customer, which it would be a middle-aged woman that needs that transformation, wants to feel fit and young and vivacious again. Now that we've talked a little bit about your brand, we've talked about buyer persona, which is super important for people. Let's actually jump in and look at how you show up. So when you're meeting people, you said you do a lot of networking. What types of activities are you doing for networking?
Actually, I'm not doing any networking right now.
No?
No.
Okay. What have you done in the past?
For networking, honestly, like nothing for networking.
It's all just been word of mouth.
Word of mouth, I run some Facebook ads. I should be better about staying active with my email list, but a little bit of that, but not consistently enough. So it's really just been organic, like I said, through word of mouth.
Gotcha. Okay. So most people, when you meet them, are you handing out, like, if it's, let's say that someone refers a friend, they obviously already have your info, but if you meet someone on the street or you're talking to someone in passing, are you handing them a business card?
Probably not. I mean, I can't really, I can probably count on my hands how many times I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like exchange information? So I'm just trying to get to the whole idea of how you get someone that might be interested in the services you offer, and how you actually get them to cross that chasm and want to do a session with you or set up a consultation.
Usually they might see it on social media, right? A post or a video, or a friend might tag them, or a friend will tell them about it. So once so they can either message me or DM me on social media, and I'll say, hey, come in, strategy session. Let's talk about your goals and how I can help you. Or it's a warm lead from a client already, so they already kind of have an idea what to expect. So they come in for a strategy session. Same idea. We go through a consultation.
Yep.
And we take it from there.
Okay. And then, so walk me through that. So you go through the consultation, then what's your process?
Then have like a jump start, like a trial for them to test out our system, our program for a month before they become like a long-term member.
And are you doing in person and virtual, or
just in person? All of the above, depending on each person's comfort level.
Gotcha. Cool. And how about, like, so knowing, being a personal trainer, it's that whole idea of like, there's only so many hours in the day and you can only make so much money in the hours that you're awake. Are there any things that you're exploring for kind of adding new revenue channels at all?
Yeah, I did play around to create a digital product. And, I had like a lead magnet for, I don't even know what it was. I think it was like some kind of cookbook, I think. I don't remember. It was a while ago. And then I had like a Couch to Fit program, like a membership page. So I ran some, I got probably 100 emails. And then I followed up with the email list, for about a week. And then I kind of I wasn't really getting much back. So I kind of stepped back and started just focusing more on my like brick and mortar business. Just so much time in the day, like I said, to put my attention and focus.
Of course. You just brought up something really good. So for everybody watching, you're like 100 leads or 100 people that are signing up for an ebook. That's a huge number for a lot of small businesses. And so like, it's very common that you're going to follow up for a week, just like you would consult with someone and say, okay, you're going to be working out 3 days a week or 4 or 5 days a week. Here's the kind of nutrition plan you want to follow. And then they don't see results in that first week and they're like, I'm done. I'm sure you've seen that. You kind of had to talk people off the ledge. So it's the same thing here. With email, it's like, you're building a muscle. So those 100 leads that you got probably might turn into maybe 10, if you're lucky, 15, so 15% conversion rate. But it's about the number of touches, the number of reps, if you will, that you're doing. And you, of course, you've got a split. You've got a family, you've got work, and how are you going to find time for digital marketing? So that's where a lot of what we've been focusing on too is automation, right? Having stuff that goes out so that if someone downloads, let's say, your new book that we'll look at on your site in a second, now not only does it send an email saying, hey, thanks so much for signing up, here's your book, then it's going to send out an email 3 or 4 days later. It's doing the work for you. So it's almost taking that kind of that, robot, making it work for you so that you can still focus on your clients. And then when someone's ready and they hit reply or they sign up for a strategy session, boom, you're ready to help.
Makes sense.
So something to think about. So here, the one thing that I wanted to point out for everyone on the screen is that, TSantosFit, unique brand name, no one else has it. So you're not competing, which is wonderful. This is all you. The really cool thing is talking about that idea that you had brought up earlier, Thiago, about social proof, right? So if I'm going to be working with someone in an intimate setting, like a personal trainer who's really, this is like, health and weight is a very personal thing. So for me to open up, I want to make sure that you're the right person. And seeing these reviews, you have close to 70 reviews, 5 stars. On Google, 30 reviews, 5 stars on Facebook, 241 votes, 5 stars on MindBody Online, which is your scheduling platform. That's amazing. That tells me right here, you are experienced, you provide a really good service. And one thing that I would do, being in a micro moment, and I don't know if you've heard it before from me, or maybe people watching haven't, but a micro moment is when someone realizes, hey, I got to go, do, buy, or go somewhere. So I got to know something, go somewhere, do something, buy something. In this case, I need to know someone that can help me, lose that pandemic weight or recover from an injury, whatever it is. One thing that they're going to do is they're going to start consulting an average of 140 informational touch points online before they consider buying from you. 140. A touch point could be just reading one review. Could, 2 reviews is 2 touch points. They're going to look at your website. They might download your ebook, go look on your social, as you were talking about, Instagram, Facebook, and see what you're doing, watch a video. So all of those are going to be touch points before they're ready to actually make that purchase. So here you've got really good reviews. And I had read some of them before. I've been training with Thiago for 2 months now, one-on-one and small group, very motivating, challenges you. Never enjoyed working out as much as I have the past 2 months. See, that right there is an amazing review. 2 reasons why. 1, 5 stars is great, but in this case, Dina actually took the time to write a testimonial for you. And she wrote glowing words about how she actually looks forward to working out with you. Do you know what I'm going to tell you that you should be doing?
Responding back to each review.
That's right. That's right. Because, and again, time, of course, but as I go down, you're getting all these people, you're hustling, man. I can see that you're getting all these reviews, but I want to see how Thiago feels about each of these clients afterwards and how he responds. And I even want to see Thiago kind of pep them up, even in his response to their review. Dina, I've been so proud of the progress you've made in those past 2 months. It's been wonderful seeing your transformation. I'm excited to see where our time together takes us. And then I'd be like, wow, not only am I going to enjoy working out, but this guy actually cares. And it's going to get me again over that hump. So my suggestion is take the time, give yourself 30 minutes, go respond to every one of the reviews you haven't responded to yet. And when you go into Google My Business, it actually will tell you all of the reviews. It sorts them by reviews you have not responded to. Answer everyone, give it a couple sentences. And even, in this case, she talks about one-on-one and small group training. Be like, I'm really glad that we did the small group. And I felt like you were getting so much out of our one-on-one training. Because again, someone that realizes they need to make that transformation, someone that is in pain and is like, I've got to build back up, I've got to recover. Now they're going to see, oh, wow, not only does Dina talk about one-on-one training, that's what Thiago is recommending. I think I'm going to go for one-on-one training. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So reviews are good. Same thing on Facebook. If you haven't responded to those reviews because they're public facing, you've got a really good, the one thing that I want to point out, even on bark.com, you've got 42 votes, 5 stars. You've been killing it when it comes to getting reviews. And what I really like is you have a really good distribution of reviews. So it's not top heavy. You don't have like 500 reviews on Google and no reviews on Facebook. It's actually pretty good. My recommendation, maybe some of those people that have given you votes on MindBody Online, go ask them if they'll leave you a review on Google as well. And what you should be shooting for, since you do personal training, I'd love to see you getting at least 5 new reviews a month, if not more.
Okay.
So that's going to be your goal, right? Your gains, if you will.
Yeah.
So let's gain at least 5. The reason being, not only does it sell to the customer, it also signals to Google that you're continuing to provide a quality service. And as a result, Google is going to show you when people are looking for a personal trainer around Warren or East Bay. Okay, so love that. Now I'll dive into your Google My Business really quick and give you some high level stuff because I want to get to your website and make some suggestions as well. So right away, my question for you is if you've uploaded a logo, and I don't think you have. So in Google My Business, it prompts you to upload both a logo and what's called a cover photo or a banner.
Yeah.
When you jump in, make sure you put your logo in there. That's where what I was saying, just for right now, is to have a photo of you, maybe have a photo of you with some of the people, and then have your logo over it so that people can see your warm, smiling face as well as your brand name, right? You've got like the way that the business profiles on Google work. They show photos at random. There's no rhyme or reason. So even if you add new photos, it might still show this. But one thing that I would want to do is, and I see that you added some videos too, which is very good. One thing that I would want you to do, add some more photos, try to get this one to move down, because I get that they're straps, but some people might be like, is that a torture chamber? They don't know, right? They haven't stepped foot. So we want to keep that. That's fine, but add in new photos, more photos with people, because you're a people business. So we've got to have photos of people. Make sense?
Yeah.
For photos, now I get to be your personal trainer for a second. For photos, what I'd like you to do is be adding, I think you should be adding, 5 photos every 2 weeks. So call it 10 photos a month.
Okay.
Right? It's about content. How am I going to know the service or the transformation you provide if I'm not seeing it? The more photos you have, the more informational touch points, the sooner they're going to get to working with you rather than going and looking for another personal trainer who has that content. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got those 2. Now, the other thing, let's just go down here. Love this, exceptional small group training. And the fact that these people are mentioning small group personal training is really good for SEO. So if you have certain people that have done something where they've transformed, I lost a certain amount of weight, I recovered from a major car accident, ask them to put that in, to include their story in the review. You don't tell them what to write, but just say, hey, could you mention your story about getting in that car accident? Or for me, like having a degenerative L5 and my neck is straight. I have no curvature in my neck. Thiago helped me. He built my muscular system around it so that I wasn't in pain anymore. That's not only going to speak volumes about you, but again, it gets indexed by Google. And now if someone's looking for small group personal training, they're around the East Bay, Warren area, you have a chance of showing up. So we want to make sure we get those keywords in there. The other thing is, so we have your description. Descriptions on Google My Business up to 750 characters. And the description is written for someone that's looking for your services. It's not written for the search engine. So we're not just stuffing in a bunch of keywords. I haven't even read yours yet. I will, but we're not stuffing in a bunch of keywords. We're writing for someone that, again, is in that micro moment. They're making a decision, consulting those hundreds of informational touch points, deciding on if they want to work with you. So yours at TSantosFit, we believe in quality over quantity. That's why we do simple things extremely well. But don't worry, you will never get bored. We have different workouts each day. PS, all exercises are scaled to ability level. No prior training experience needed. I think that's absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. You just calmed so many of my concerns. Do I need to, like a lot of people, if they're starting a class, do I need to have like a certain amount of endurance, blah, blah, blah. You took out all those objections right away. Very well written. Really good. One thing that I'm going to suggest for you is posting. So you're uploading photos and I'm not seeing any past posts. And I may be wrong, but I'm not seeing them. So maybe you haven't used that yet. Do you remember using posts on Google My Business?
Never used it.
So think of a post as a social post, just like you would on Facebook or Instagram. Especially when you're in that mode where you're posting on those, you can download the Google My Business app. It's free and you can post right from your phone. Post a photo, post a video up to 30 seconds, write in a couple sentences, literally the same stuff that you've already posted on Facebook. You could copy and paste, upload the photo and pop it in. Okay. Cool thing about posts is that you're signaling to Google that you're active. And now you're giving someone one, if not more, multiple informational touch points to consider you over someone else. So I would definitely, like where you were talking about befores and afters. Let's show some transformations. Let's show an exercise. You and I had talked a long time ago, years ago, about just recording videos of simple stretches, posture, things like that. You could do quick 15, 30-second videos. Hey, it's Thiago here from TSantosFit. Here's the thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now it's up to you to do it. Done. Post those up. They get logged, they get indexed. And it's definitely something you want to be doing. Average is one post a week. You're notified by Google basically after 6 days. Hey, Thiago, your post is about to be hidden or archived. Time to put up a new one. So Google keeps you honest. It's that accountability coach you need. For us, I mean, we're posting maybe 2 or 3 times a week, but just start humble beginnings. Like you said, start small, 1 post a week. That's it. Okay. Promise you I'd get to your website. And here I am talking about Google My Business. I can't help it.
Good stuff.
So TSantosFit. Okay. Now you built this in Wix, right?
Yep.
Okay. How long have you had the website?
Like 5 years.
Awesome. And with the website, you've been obviously building it over time. Do you have Google Analytics installed?
I think I do. I'm not sure.
Okay. So Google Analytics, simple piece of code. It's free. You already have a Google account. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to manage your business profile. I would definitely, for anything you're going to do, whether you're going to take some of my advice today, if you're going to go watch someone else and start doing more social stuff, Google Analytics is going to tell you what's working. So we want to make sure that, if we're driving in traffic from, let's say you're putting in time to Facebook and you're buying those ads you talked about, or even boosted posts. A lot of people are boosting posts right now because it's the holiday season. Okay, well, that's great if I get likes. It's nice if I get clicks. What happens once they click? So that's where analytics can take over and tell you, hey, Thiago, we had this many people come from Facebook and here's what they did. You can even set goals. So it really does play into the whole accountability thing, right? Now you're setting goals like, for instance, I want people to schedule a free strategy session. Great, that's a goal. Once they hit this page, that could be a goal. Once they submit this, they're brought to a thank you page. That could be the goal. And that counts as a conversion because now we just got someone to give us their info. Analytics, really robust, overwhelming, but the only thing you have to do to start is just start looking at it. Make sure it's installed and just start looking at it. And we're going to be coming out with videos too that talk more about analytics. We have an expert on our team that can go through everything. And then I've got the webinar as well, and I'll be happy to share that with you so you can learn more about using Google Analytics. So let's go back to the homepage. For those of you that are watching at home, Thiago has a multi-page site. It's what I recommend. So the more pages you put out, the more, think about a net. You're casting a net. Like if you think back to Forrest Gump, well, when he started Bubba Gump Shrimp, he could have just done a little butterfly net, wouldn't have caught much shrimp. The more pages you add, the larger that net gets. The more content you're creating, the more opportunities and informational touch points you're creating for people to find you. So Thiago's got a homepage, services drop down with personal training and small group training. Love that you created 2 pages, one for each of your products. Then you've got About Us, which will go on your blog, testimonials, and then sign up. You've got your social media at the top in your header. We've got the logo right here, which is fine. The thing that I'll say about your logo, little hard to read. So if you worked with a designer, I would see if maybe they could change that out. The yellow outline or stroke, if you will, around it makes it a little bit hard to read. If I'm going back to your buyer persona, I'm a 35, 45-year-old woman, that's hard to read. So right away, I'm already like, it's the small things that can help, that can lead them to make a first impression. Does that make sense? So I just polish that up a little bit. Okay, so Thiago, you've got multiple pages, which is great. We went over those. Going down, we're looking at your page structure, small group personal training to elevate your health, all of the results of one-on-one personal training at half the cost. Tell me a little bit about that.
Half the cost.
So are a lot of people coming to you because of price?
No.
No? Is have I guess I'm wondering about that, because half the cost of what, like Get in Shape for Women or Lifetime or Anytime Fitness kind of thing?
Yeah, I suppose, but I guess they wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Personal training.
So I guess the thing that I'm thinking is, this is prime space, right? You've got this, even this, I would suggest, okay, so you have a slider, but you're only using one thing. We're showing this guy's gut, right? So can we shrink the picture down a little bit so that we're showing the actual people? Unless you don't have, the permission to do so, but I'd want to see like a little bit more zoomed out. Canva or something like that, or you can find graphic designer on Fiverr that can create those sliders for you. This space right here is huge, because what we're looking at is obviously the homepage, but this is above the scroll line. So a lot of people in those micro moments, they're going to look, and we got to tell them right away what they have to do. And we cannot, even based on research with Google, we can't promise that they're going to scroll down. Right. So here's where I would focus a lot of your time. Just like you would focus on a certain muscle group, I would focus time on this section of the page. I'd want to see a slider that has 3 or 4 things. So small group personal training to elevate your health. Great. I also do one-on-one. Do you do nutrition coaching? Do you do something else? Results. So are there different stories? Even though we have that idea of the middle-aged woman, there are different things that are probably speaking to that person, right? Different hooks, if you will. One is transformation. One is live, your healthiest life or be the best you. Another one might be training at half the cost. I asked you that and challenged you on it, because is it a selling point that people are joining you for, or are they joining you because of the results you get? And then, and the other thing is like close coaching, like you're dealing with me and we're working together, all that kind of stuff. So figure out the messaging, but I would want to see 3 or 4 sliders, because this right here, people will watch those just like people watch video. They see the animation. They're, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? So make use of that. The button right here, schedule a free strategy session, make it bigger. Think about 45 plus woman. I know I have bad eyesight. I'm 35. So I can only imagine as they get more esteemed, they're going to need bigger. Right. Yeah. So we want to do that. And ultimately with the site too, you've got schedule your free strategy session. Great. Free download. How many downloads have you gotten from that?
Like 1.
Do you know why?
What's that?
Do you know why?
No, it's not a good offer. They don't want it.
Nope. You put the booty at the bottom. We want to bring that up. Again, you have something that people can get value off of. One of your sliders can be download Thiago's free 8 weeks to a tighter booty manual. That should be one of these calls to action. The button leads them to download that so you can capture their information. Again, hooks aren't just a hook is to get them engaged and captivate them, just like when we were taught in school about writing sentences and your intro sentence has to get people in. These slides have to get people in. So one is small group training, one is one-on-one, one is download Thiago's book. The fact that you wrote a book makes you even that more of an expert in your area. I would say that needs to be up at the top, maybe your second slide,
Okay.
and then go into your other services. And that's why probably you're not getting the downloads that you want, because it's all the way down at the bottom. So overall, homepage, a little bit of work, but I think you've got really good structure there. It's just kind of reorganizing things and making use of the slider. Is there, just for time's sake, is there one other page that you'd want to look at that maybe you've been toying with?
About us.
About us, sure. There he is. Okay. Fitness professional Thiago Santos will get you to your fitness goal. You will move better, look better, and feel better. Okay. Moving, looking, and feeling good is in an arm's reach away. Got it. TSantosFit. Talk to Thiago about what approach works best. Okay, here's a question for you. Third person versus first person. Why did you write in third person? Was it like, is it something you picked up, or was it just like someone wrote it for you? You wrote it. What were you thinking when you did third person? I'm asking you so that other people watching can think about this too.
Yeah, it was just a recommendation from someone.
Okay. Which I think is fine. Third person, remove the quotation marks. You don't need those. So unless there's actually someone that's saying it, that it was a quote from someone else, you don't need that. So it can just be third person. That's fine. One thing that I noticed right away. So I would have at the top a headline. So an H1 when you're building, meet Thiago.
Okay.
Or meet Thiago, owner of TSantosFit. So right away, I want to know your name, right? I noticed that you copy and pasted because we have different fonts. So we want to clean that up, right? Same font. My journey, first introduced to the weight room, freshman year in high school. Okay, love it. Just recall banging out some bicep curls. Fight. Oh, that's good. Sorry, I mean, I've had the crap handed to me too, my butt handed to me. That's really good though. I'm a huge proponent of storytelling. I love that you called it my journey, first off, because it's not just a story, it's a journey. It's how you came to be where you are, your destination. Do you tell a lot of people about that fight?
No.
Any reason?
No, it just never really comes up. Never like an opportunity.
So if someone is talking to you and they're asking you like, why do you do what you do? Do you usually just say, I just I fell into lifting weights. I realized I like being in the gym.
Yeah, more or less. Something like that. Yeah, I've always worked out. I guess I should.
So, and that's fine. Totally fine. Think about this. Like if you've ever watched stand-up comedy, some of the best stand-up comedians I've ever watched, they add layers, just like an onion. There's a layer and a layer and a layer. So a quick story. Yeah. I just love being in the gym. Okay. Yeah. You're just like any other personal trainer. Actually in high school, I had the crap kicked out of me, and it was a wake up call that I needed to be bigger. I wanted to be able to defend myself. So I started going to the gym right away. Everyone's like, oh, coitado. Oh, poor boy. Okay. And they want to, now they're actually seeing this underdog come and now be this strong guy that's going to help them transform. You're selling transformation. Tell me your origin story. You got the crap kicked out of you. People were asking, are you okay? And that's when it flipped in your mind. Now, obviously maybe you didn't, you're a tough guy, but someone beat you up. Hey, how does that translate into what you're doing now? Tell me that. People are buying from people. And especially if you're going to have the TSantosFit brand, that's a great story to start.
Yeah.
So what I would say is this right here, turn it into a video. Record a video of yourself and tell your story. Pop it right here in the middle so that people can meet you. I would love to see a video of my future personal trainer so I can get to know if I like them. Okay. And then book your free strategy session. I love that you have it at the end. The other thing that I would do is a best practice on any of your pages, use text links. So you might say, you know, consider training at TSantosFit, or consider setting up your trial, or whatever you're going to call it, Kickstart, whatever you call it, have a link to the sign up form. Okay. So integrate those within your text and your paragraphs. And that way, if someone's reading and they're like, oh, wow, I love this guy already, click. They don't have to scroll to the bottom to find it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I think overall, you've built a really good brand. You've got glowing reviews, which a lot of people would die for. And just a few things with Google My Business, responding to reviews, adding up photos, starting to use posts is going to help you show up above the other personal trainers in the area. And the other thing is, I'd love to see how you can incorporate a video and tell your story in your website, so that I can connect with you and fall in love with you before I even click to book a strategy session.
Sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up?
How do you feel about repurposing like emails into your like social media posts? Is that redundant? I mean, I guess not everyone's gonna open up your email, so they might see it on social media.
Mm-hmm. When you say repurposing, you mean like taking the content that you sent in an email and sharing it on social?
Yeah.
Oh, huge believer. You should be reducing, reusing, recycling wherever you can. Here's what I think you can do. You command a presence when you're on screen. I'm not, you know, I'm telling you, you're a fit guy, you're a handsome guy. People like you. They've always gravitated towards you as long as I've known you. That needs to come out on video. So what I would do, and I know that you have your YouTube channel, which we don't have time to jump into today, but I would be focusing on video. The really simple strategy is make a video. Then you can transcribe that video. There are services where you can have it written out, everything you said. That becomes a blog post. Then you put a blog post on your blog page, pop that video in. Now you've got hybrid content, written word and video. Then on top of that, now you're going to take little snippets of that blog post. You're going to turn that into social posts. You're going to take a little preview of that blog post, put it into your emails as well. So from one video, you just created multiple pieces of content, maybe 5 or 10 pieces of content just from one video. So if you can look at it that way and kind of get into that regimen, you're going to be very successful when it comes to building your content marketing strategy.
Okay. Cool.
And definitely the things that you share on social or the things that you share in email, like you said, they may not be email subscribers yet. What I would do is, if you're sharing something in email, you want to get people on your email list, right? You gotta, if they're on your email list, you can send them information, you're getting into their inbox. Whereas with Facebook, Instagram, all that, it's just a bunch of noise, you know? So you're trying to cut through the masses. With email, I would almost say like, hey, I got special things just for my email subscribers. You probably see a lot of fitness professionals do that. Some of the most successful ones. Join our email list. I'm going to have special recipes, things like that. You can even share like, hey, here's a recipe from an email from last month's email. Want to stay on top of your recipes and make sure you're eating healthy? Join our mailing list now. So give them a little preview, make them have that fear of missing out. So I want to thank you, Thiago, for taking the time, reconnecting with me, and more so letting me go through and kind of give you a blueprint strategy session. You found this helpful?
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Hey, for those of you watching at home or from your office, desk, co-working space, whatever, you too can be on a blueprint strategy session. Feel free. You can go to bryancaplan.com/blueprint.
Subscribe,
right?
that smash button.
Subscribe, smash the like button, as my kids say. No, but more so, I'd love to help you as well. This is something that we started during the pandemic, and we're continuing to do it to help small businesses grow into that bigger, better business we're always talking about. Until next time, stay healthy, stay well. Here's to your success.